Hi, I'm Bill Mooney with WSU Public Media, and I'm part of the video series Google Learning Online, and I'm going to talk about creating a quick quiz in Google Forms and Google Classroom. So I'm first going to talk about Google Forms and how you can quickly make a quiz for students and how you send that out, and then we'll look at Google Classroom and how that is the best way if you want to create a quick quiz and distribute it, how you can do it that way too. So let me share my screen and get started here. So let me open up and I'm going to go to this screen and I'm going to share it and I'm going to present this. So this is for the Ohio EdTech series, and I'm creating a short quiz in Google Forms and Google Classroom. And again, I am Bill Mooney. There is my contact information. If you'd like to reach out to and ask me questions, that'd be great. As you can see from those badges, I work a lot with Google and talking to people about Google. And Google Forms obviously is a very popular product with teachers, and then creating that quiz in Google Forms and being able to give it to students, have it graded or manually graded, and then Google Classroom. So let's get into that. Now, if you are doing this video session for a PD code, there is the PD code CSQZ. Again, there's the PD code CSQZ. So I'm going to start off with creating a Google Forms quiz. This would be for those people that maybe you're not using Google Classroom right now, but you want to create a quick quiz and give it out to students. So let's just kind of go through that process. I'm going to exit out of this. And I'm going to actually go to my Drive. And to start a Google Form, which is a survey tool that a lot of people use to collect data from students or parents. And great, I need to go start a Google Form. I need to start my Drive. What's the best place is to start in my Drive. So I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to go to Google Forms, and I'm going to open up a form. And so here's the first step in creating a quiz, because remember, this is a survey tool, good tool for collecting data. But if I want to make it a quiz, I really have to go up to my settings. There's a gear up here for settings. And here is some options I really need to look at before I create this quiz in Forms. First off, I assume the students are all going to be in my domain. So everything here looks good in terms of it's going to be only people in my domain can see this quiz. I might want to look at some of these, like am I collecting email addresses? Probably don't need to. The big thing we want to look at in this settings area is quizzes. So there's a quizzes area, and I want to click on that. By default, a Google Forms is not a quiz, which can be surprising to a lot of people. You actually have to kind of make it a quiz. And so by selecting that button, it makes it a quiz. And now I can assign point values to questions, say what's the right answer, kind of goes into that grading mode. There's some options here in this quiz mode that I want to look at before I do that, before I push it out or create my quiz. And some of those things are, do I want students to see their grade once they take it immediately, or do I want to look at it and then send them the results? Can respondents see missed questions, correct answer, point values? Those, you might want to think about some of those things. The default settings are probably fine, but that's the first thing you want to do. So I'm going to just say, I made a quiz. I'm going to say save. And now I can title my quiz. So I can say, I'm going to say Econ Chapter 5. And, I can give this a description. This is a quiz with 4, multiple choice questions, those kind of things. And here's my first question. I do recommend, depends on how you want this to be graded. You might want to stick to multiple choice questions for a short, quick quiz, because again, it will grade these. So if I stick to multiple choice questions, the system can grade. If as I come look at, by default, you get a multiple choice question. If I look at the choices, I can ask a number of different questions. If I ask a short answer paragraph, which might be totally relevant, but I'd have to manually grade those responses. And that might be something you want to do, but if you want to kind of quick quiz, quick turnaround, stick with multiple choice or check boxes because those can be scored. So let's say, so I've got this quiz, let's say I've got a quiz here started. Here's a short multiple choice question. Once I type my question in, so I've got this question, it's multiple choice, it's got two choices. There is an answer key down here. Once I click on that, this is where I'd say, this is the correct answer, that's not the correct answer. So I'm telling it, this is the correct answer, marginal benefit. I'm telling it, here are the points for this question. And now I'm done, and I can create my next question. So here's my next multiple choice question that I already created. It's about business and economics. And I've got 4 possible choices. I come in here, I say which one is the correct choice. I say that one is the correct choice. Again, I can put my points up to as many points as I want. So I'm leave it as 5. And I'll say done. A couple things as I'm going through here, I created all multiple choice questions because again, I wanted it to be quick. I can create other types of questions here. But one of the things you do want to notice is there is an import questions area now in Google Forms. So if you have created other questions in Google Forms, you can bring those in with this button. It'll go looking at your other Google Forms and you can pull in other items. Now, when you pull those items in, you're gonna have to do some of that scoring. So I've got my test all created here. And so I'm gonna move my picture out of the way there. I've got my test created with, I think I've got 5 questions here. I see my total points here being 30. The next thing, so I've got my questions, but now I've got to give it to the students. So again, if I'm not using Google Classroom, I can hit the send button and there's a couple of choices on how I could give this quiz to students. I could, if I have everybody's email address, I could just start typing those email addresses in here or copy paste them in here and send them this quiz. Another way a lot of teachers do this is they take this link here and they copy that link and they put it, whether it's in, whatever LMS product you're using, or if you have a web page that students go to get your content, or however you communicate digitally to those students, I put that link in there. So I just copy that link and again, paste it wherever that's gonna be. I could also embed it in a website. If you have a website, that way it's right inside there and they can just do it, boom. So that's how to create a quick quiz in Google Forms. But really we recommend the easiest way to give students a quiz is to actually be in your Google Classroom. And so that process of creating a quick quiz is very similar, but a couple differences. So let me navigate to a classroom that I have here. And, I'm in my classroom, there's the streams, the classwork, the grades area, people. So in my classwork area, I want to create a quiz. And that's one of the options in here is once I hit create, there's a quiz assignment. So if I click on that quiz assignment, it's going to actually pull up a dialog box that asks me a number of questions. Let me pull my face away from some of these places. So it's going to ask the title. So again, this is quiz checker econ. If I want to put instructions to the students, there's 5 multiple choice, 3 essays, answer these questions, I give them that. If I needed to add anything, information for this quiz, I can add things from my drive. If there's a PDF I want them to look at again that we've looked at before, hey, look at this. I can have a link to a web page. Remember, we read this. I can add a YouTube video, you know, again, to kind of refresh students' memory of what this quiz is about if you need to do that. But what's sitting down here now is a Google form. Now it's blank and it's empty, so we'll open it up, but it's kind of ready for you to assign it to students. So it's kind of taken that sending process away from you. And now it's boom, it's going to send it right from here once I hit assign. But I have to open up this quiz, and I'll do that right now. And it created a blank quiz, so I have to title it. So I'm going to title it. I'm going to make sure I got all the titles here. Quiz. But now I have to create those questions or pull those questions in from import. Again, so this is a good place. Again, I might, in that first example, I went right to Drive. I created a form, sent it to them. That's fine if you don't use Google Classroom. If you're using Google Classroom, you want to come right into this area, create that quiz, do the quiz right here, do the same steps we did by, you know, creating questions, saying what's the right answer, how many points is there. So once I've created that here and I'm all done, I can kind of go back to my Google Classroom where I have this done. So once I'm done, I'll see these points that I can put in. Again, how many points I want to be. Let's say 30. I can put a due date here. That's a nice feature that I can't do the other way. The first way we did it, I can't do a due date. I can put a date and a time this is due by. I could add a rubric if I had some essay questions. So that'd be perfect. But now instead of that process of sending, how I send it to the students, all I have to do is assign. And as you know, maybe you've seen this before, I can actually assign this quiz if I have a number of classes. I can push this to, if I have 5 economics classes, I can push it to all of them. I can push it to certain students in one class. So those are things to think about. That's why I encourage you to do this in Google Classroom. And also in here is I can also save this as a draft and come back to it. So if I'm starting this lesson and I want to come back to this and think about a few different questions, maybe add some more attachment documents. So I can always save this as a draft and assign it later. But as soon as I'm ready, I can just assign and it shoots it out to the students. They get a quiz, it's in there, ready for them. So that's a really easy way to create a quick quiz in Google Classroom. So thanks for joining me. Again, I'm Bill Mooney with WSU Public Media, and that's about creating a quick quiz. Stop that, and I'll just